In this video, I'm going to be going over a couple different ways that you can play harmonics with slide. This is something that I like to do to add a little bit of like flair and bling to my playing, and I think it sounds pretty cool. I'm using a Resonator guitar, so there's probably going to be a lot more overtones and harmonics that come out with this, so just keep that in mind when you're listening. Depending on what type of guitar you use, whether it's a Resonator or just a regular flat top acoustic or an electric guitar, there's going to be either more or less opportunities for these harmonics, and they're going to sustain longer or shorter depending. So just keep that in mind. My guitar is in E standard tuning, E, A, D, G, B, E. The tuning is irrelevant for this though. It's just for a reference for you if you're trying to play along. So just a basic overview with the open strings on a guitar generally. This is obviously a broad generalization. There's nuance to this, but overall there's usually a couple different places on the guitar where you can play open strings and you don't have to press down on the notes. You can actually just gently lay your finger over the strings. They're going to add a different textured note, so it's going to be something that we call a harmonic versus actually pressing down there. I don't even know if I could do it really. Let's just do these strings. So they ring out really nicely and they add a lot of color to your playing. So in general, on a guitar, you'll typically have at the 12th fret, the 7th fret, the 5th fret, and then you can even go up to the 17th fret, 19th fret. Depending on your guitar though, you might not have as much access to it. All right, so the first variation on a harmonic with slide that I use, first we're gonna pick a spot where the harmonics work with an open string. So I'm just gonna choose the 12th fret. So you would just, gently lay your finger down over the, make sure you're over the metal of the bar, not in between. So we want this. We don't want this. So when you're like in between the metal over like the dot, you're not actually gonna get the best sound for the harmonic. We want to be over the metal. I think it's a nice ring out there. So we're gonna make sure we play the harmonic first, and then we're gonna slide into the note. And what you want to kind of aim for is honestly as close as you can possibly get to the nut on the fretboard side. So not back here. We want to make sure we're starting here, and then just as you would slide into notes, with that amount of pressure, you're going to want to start just at the where the string meets the nut and then slide up. You don't, just for the purpose of this video, we're just going to play the harmonic and slide into that, but when you get really comfortable and good with these things, you can start to use these to your advantage and play other things with it. But for now, we're just gonna keep it simple. So we're starting at the nut, and then just a gentle amount of pressure and slide in. You can even, depending how clean you're trying to be, you don't want to like slam the slide down onto the nut, but you can kind of use that as your guide, so you can kind of feel when it hits that to slide up. So that's a fun one to use, and this will work wherever you can find these for the open strings. So we're in the 7th fret too. Next version of a harmonic with slide I like to use we're going to be looking at, again, these same frets, so either the 12th, 7th, or the 5th. We're going to make sure we have the slide over the 12th fret, so make sure you're over the bar again like you would when you're playing slide guitar normally. But this time we're going to bring our hand over and we're going to actually pick the strings on the opposite side that you normally would be playing. And what you want to do is just, you got to play around with the right amount of pressure. You don't, playing too hard, it might not come out. Playing too lightly, it might not come out. You're going to have to play around with the technique and what works best for you and your guitar to get this to sound, but you'll realize it when it comes out. Hopefully my arm isn't blocking. And just to give you an idea, we do it at the 7th fret also. Nice, like, gentle vibrato too adds a lot to it. It sounds nice. And then the 5th fret, we can try it, see how it works on this guitar. A really nice sound. It doesn't come out as much, in my experience and opinion, when you're with like a full band or something, but when you're kind of doing more subdued solo guitar type stuff, it really comes out. Another slide harmonic, wherever you're playing a note, whether it's with a slide or you're fretting the notes, if you do that same technique for the harmonic that we were in the first version of the harmonics, or it's just gently plucking with your, gently laying your finger down, plucking the strings. If you use that same technique 12 frets beyond where you're playing, so wherever you have your slide down or where you're fretting notes, in general you can get another harmonic to come out and it'll actually be those same notes. I'm in the 3rd fret, I'm going to play the first 3 strings. And I go up 12 frets beyond that, so that's going to be 15, 12, 13, 14, 15, 3rd fret. Now I'm going to use my, you got to be, this is going to take a little bit to develop though, but you're going to actually use your right hand. I like to use my index finger to, I hope I'm not blocking with the mic here. I'm going to use my index finger to gently lay on the string. So I'm using my thumb behind that too. I hope this is, you know, it's coming through in a way that's... Using my thumbnail to pick the string like that while I'm gently laying my finger over the 15th fret there on the string. So it's just like gently covering it. So like if I wasn't playing anything there, that's all that would be coming out. And then when I have the slide down, you can even do this with the, you know, actual fretted notes too. But the slide, it's cool because then you can, you know, slide those harmonics wherever you want to. Alright, so that's it for the slide harmonics video. I hope that was helpful. If you're interested in other slide guitar lessons and playing, I have a lot of that on my channel. it'd be really great if you could check that out and consider subscribing if you like what you see. If you did enjoy this video, it'd be great if you could give a thumbs up, and I'll catch you in the next video. Thank you.